I don't think I did anything wrong by making a joke.
Meet Dr. Harleen Grewal. She's a board-certified dentist and the owner of Skyline Smiles in Santa Clarita, California. Not only did this doctor publicly brag about causing harm for patients, she also bragged about how she preferred that certain patients didn't come into her office altogether.
It was so much better in my office when the dents stayed home during COVID with their masks on. I wish they still did.
Unlike most people in the country, Dr. Grewal was celebrating a time when everyone was dying by the millions here in the United States because she had to serve less Democratic patients. Dr. Grewal has made it no secret that she is a MAGA supporter, and now she's publicly bragging about harming her patients intentionally. So if I were somebody and I wanted to comment on that or make sure that a business that intentionally harms patients never was allowed to do it again, this is the name of that business, in case you were a patient there and forgot.
So we've got Dr. Harleen Grewal, the self-proclaimed MAGA dentist, making headlines because she says she cuts off pain relief for Democrats. Yes, in 2025. We now live in a world where even your Novocaine comes with a political litmus test. That's how bad we've come. Wait, let's be clear. This isn't just unprofessional. It's equally dangerous, okay? Dentists are supposed to treat pain, not create it. But apparently, Dr. Grewal thinks her job description includes punishing people for their, voting choices. That's not healthcare. That's political cruelty dressed in a white coat.
So meet the so-called MAGA dentist, Dr. Harleen Grewal of Skyline Smiles in California. She proudly wears a MAGA hat in her TikToks and literally brands herself as the MAGA dentist. Watch this clip here.
Smiles, I have a wall of fame. I have pictures of many Republican leaders, elected officials in the community, Jason Gibbs, Joe Messina. And once in a while I get patients that come into my office, and when they see the pictures, you'd think their butt was on fire. They jump up and take off as if Trump was coming in the room. Well, I do have a picture of me and the homie on the wall too. So after hearing certain Democrats complain about my prices, I look at them confused and say, how's Bidenomics working for you? It was so much better in my office when the dents stayed home during COVID with their masks on. I wish they still did. So I have a secret hat I use sometimes. It says, make your smile great again. So I wear that when I work on my patients. So when they look horrified or complain, I quietly cut back on the laughing gas and say, you got this. It's not as bad as you think it is. I stole that from Joe Biden.
Did you catch that? She admits to cutting back pain meds mid-procedure if she thinks her patient is a Democrat. That's not just politics, that's medical discrimination and patient harm. Healthcare is a partisan game. It's supposed to be safe, ethical, and equal. Denying anesthesia or any oral analgesics because of your beliefs, that is dangerous and unacceptable. So here's our call to action. We are going to report her immediately to the California Dental Board. Share this video so people know what's happening at Skyline Smiles and demand accountability, because if this stands, no patient is safe.
That MAGA pediatric dentist that got online and admitted to lowering the anesthesia on her pediatric patients based on their political beliefs should lose her license to practice dentistry in the state of California. She says that she has her office decorated with Make America Great Again posters of Republican officials, even one of her and Trump together. And then she has her dentist helmet that says, Make Your Smile Great Again. And based off of the pediatric patient's reaction, that alone will determine whether or not they get the full anesthesia during oral procedures. She says that she leans over to the patient, lowers the laughing gas, and then tells the child, see, it's not that bad. Yeah, that's medical malpractice. You are intentionally exposing children to unnecessary pain during oral procedures, and that is child abuse. Okay? And what's really sad is that apparently you got 11 medical malpractice lawsuits pending against you. Okay? Politics don't belong in a pediatric dental office. If they don't belong in school, they definitely don't belong in a medical setting, at a hospital, at a pediatric dental office, whatever. Okay? As part of the Make America Great Again movement, we don't claim her. Honestly, be so for real.
What if you went to the dentist and the dentist didn't numb your gums or anything to stop the pain, and they just drilled into your teeth so you could feel it just because they didn't like you or because you was black or they thought you was a Democrat? Well, meet Dr. Harleen Grewal out of Santa Clarita, California. She admits making jokes at a conference. She was speaking at some seminar saying that when Democrats are people who come in and seemingly act like Democrats, or she thinks they're Democrats, she turns down the laughing gas so they can feel more pain.
I quietly cut back on the laughing gas and say, you got this. It's not as bad as you think it is. I stole that from Joe Biden.
I don't even know why people would have something to say about their politics at the dentist office, but she has like this wall of like all the Republicans and famous MAGA people, and if they come in and say anything or acts like they don't like anybody on the wall, she says she turns down the laughing gas so they can feel a little bit more pain. Is that legal? Is that ethical? And how about she's an immigrant dentist? Now, Dr. Grewal was born in England. She was raised in India. And after dental school, she moved to the U.S. She went to USC to complete her dental studies. And once she was done there, she opened up 2 businesses. So she owns 2 businesses right now. One called Skyline Smiles and Mind Body Infusion. She's married. What in the world was she thinking to admit it? Somebody taped it. One of her partners. That's what I was saying. The inbreed, how they do each other is so cold. Follow me for more political gossip and cultural opinions. Get nuttier by the day. Well, you know that dentist I was talking about the other day that is MAGA has admittedly said that she plays with the, numbing gas if her customers show some kind of dislike for MAGA Republicans, right? Well, one of my people came into my comments and said, her husband is a neurologist. Huh? That's even scarier. So I did a little bit more digging. Come to find out, he is a neurologist in Valencia. His practice is Valencia. He is a partner in the Mind Body Infusion Company with his wife. And there's a write-up about this couple. Beautiful. In the write-up, Harleen is talking about how their business and personal go hand in hand and how they share the same views, they have the same goals, and he specializes in strokes. And the flags immediately went off like, that's hypertension, high blood pressure. That's something that impacts our community so much. I wonder if he shares the same views. Listen, I'm not here to ruin nobody's life or to make it hard for anybody. But when I hear about people purposely inflicting pain, that's a kind of racism when you have that kind of power over people and they come to you in their time of need, desperate time of need, and you do something like that. Maybe there should be some investigating into him too. I don't know. What do y'all think? When I'm on the phone with my friends or talking to family, these are the conversations that we have. If you guys want to have a conversation like this live, put live in the comments. For more political gossip, and this is gossip based on facts, okay, about these morons, follow me.
Hey, so just because you're MAGA, it doesn't mean you're safe from being called out if you openly admit to treating patients differently just because of their political beliefs. Here, you will see a dentist that openly admits to cutting back on the laughing gas when a patient responds a certain way to a hat that is meant to be like a MAGA hat, but it says, make your smile great again.
So I have a secret hat I use sometimes. It says, make your smile great again. So I wear that when I work on my patients. So when they look horrified or complain, I quietly cut back on the laughing gas and say, you got this. It's not as bad as you think it is. I stole that from Joe Biden.
If you are intentionally causing pain, discomfort to any of your patients under your care, you absolutely should not be practicing. But I do honestly think that this dentist was joking around, but even then, absolutely disgusting. You do not use patients as the brunt of a joke. If she is found to be doing that to her patients, she absolutely deserves to lose her license. She needs to lose her license. Absolutely abhorrent. Let this be a lesson to anybody that works in healthcare, in dentistry, anything like that, where you're taking a patient and these people are trusting you, they're scared, they're nervous. Do not use them as the brunt of your jokes. Do not use them, do not joke around about causing pain. Do not joke around about using wrong size needles. None of that, because it's always going to backfire, and all it does is seed distrust in people who are already scared to seek care in those areas. Anyways, she does have a TikTok account. It is the MAGA Dentist.
So this lady right here is the self-proclaimed the MAGA dentist. That's her user here on TikTok. Thought that it would be a great idea for her to do some kind of speech. I don't know where she was. I don't care where she was. And say that not only did she find it funny when patients walked into her office and saw all these political pictures, a political hat that she has, where she said MAGA something, I forgot what it was, in her political talk, but that when she was doing a treatment and the patient was uncomfortable with all of this, she could cut back a little bit on the laughing gas and told them that they could go ahead and deal with the pain. You guys could search up the video right here. This is probably the most horrifying thing that I've seen in a while, and I've seen a lot of horrifying things. Like, let me put this into perspective for you. They're saying that her husband is a neurologist. Imagine a neurologist doing what she says that she does. How fucking terrifying is that? Imagine you walk into an ER, a hospital, a medical office, and because the doctor is not doesn't believe the same thing you do, doesn't have the same ideals politically, that they just don't do their job and they don't uphold the oath that they took to care for their patients and do everything to the best of their ability. Like, how freaking horrifying would it be if her husband finds this type of behavior funny and he goes on and misdiagnoses somebody or does a procedure wrong? Like, this is malpractice. This lady needs to have her fucking, I gotta breathe. She needs to have everything revoked. Her license, her fucking business. Like, this is terrifying. And before anybody says, oh, what if I don't care if it was, even if I have never walked into an office and see any kind of political thing, ever. Like, that would make me uncomfortable either way. I used to work in a medical office, and I never thought to myself, does this patient agree with me politically? I never brought up politics in any type of freaking way. Neither did the doctor. And I don't even know what the doctor believed. Why? Because the only thing he had in his office was a picture of his family. Like, this is insane. Even that level of fanaticism that you have your office filled with all this stuff, like, that's insane.
It's going to be a very, very long week for those that work in dental care, especially those who are dentists, because now they found out that dentist who is MAGA, who basically wears a hat that's a spin-off of the saying, silently cuts off laughing gas for patients, who is a pediatric dentist. So you're doing this to children if their parents react in a certain way. Caught on camera saying that. And folks already don't trust dentists because the amount of times we've heard dentists coming up on here judging patients and stuff like that. But this put the nail in the coffin. I'm just curious, to people who did go to that dentist office and then had some pain after the exam, longer than normal, are they liable to sue? Like, can they sue? Because that's crazy. That's insane. That's nerve damage in your mouth. And they're children.
Dr. Harleen Grewal at the Skyline Smiles in Santa Clarita, California, is absolutely 100% having Google delete the negative reviews. The rating for it was at 3.7, I think it was, and all you could see were negative reviews all the way down. People were taking screenshots of her speech. People were talking about her MAGA dentist profile that's here on TikTok, all this stuff. Now, if you go back, let's see where it's at. There's only two. There's only 2 negative reviews, and it's back up to 4.7 stars. What? How? Because she's having that Google delete the negative reviews. On top of that, I just got a DM from someone saying, please be careful. She's a powerful and vile person. I worry she'll go after all these people attacking her. She even pays Google to remove reviews. She throws money at everything. I'm having people in my DMs talking about that they have worked for her. They know someone that's worked for her. Horrible, just abusive work conditions. They threaten you with your documentation status and work you so hard for little pay. We need to continue putting pressure, whether this is your first video hearing about Dr. Harleen Grewal from the Skyline Smiles in Santa Clarita, California, or if you're coming from other videos that I've posted and other creators have, pointing to the fact that she puts her political views above patient care, patient comfort. Everything that she's doing is absolutely vile, disgusting, cruel, and unethical. I've shown in other videos about how you can file a complaint to the dental board, shown we have to continue posting reviews. Yes, they're getting shut down, but we have to continue just going with the negative reviews, allowing future patients to be aware of this, and tag people in the media, tag other content creators that are so much bigger than me, please, because this is absolutely unacceptable. Tag content creators in California, whatever we need to do, because someone like Dr. Harleen Grayworth and her husband, who's a neurologist, by the way, that she manages his office. We'll get to that. I'm still working on that video. She owns that. She owns Skyline Smiles. She owns Mind Body Infusion Med Spa, which I think is in the same plaza based on the address. And she boastfully admits and is proud that she manages her husband's neurology practice office. So yeah. Let's just continue putting pressure, because this is unacceptable. MAGA wants to be so bold with their hatred. MAGA wants to be so bold with the cruelty and their just lack of common sense and decency. Great. Bring him to the front. Bring him to center stage right now.
What's crazy about this whole Harleen Grewal situation, and if you don't know who Harleen Grewal is, she's that MAGA dentist who's going really viral right now for saying that she pulls back on laughing gas for people who she suspects are Democrats. And by the way, she's a pediatric dentist, so that makes it even more horrific what she's claiming or joking about doing. Anyway, that's besides the point. What's the craziest thing to me about this woman is that she is an immigrant. Like, she's not even a first-gen American. I don't think she was born here. I'm pretty sure she's an immigrant, because you can hear it in the way she talks. She still has that Indian accent. She doesn't talk like an American entirely. Like, she's obviously acclimated to the country and the accent, but you can still hear that Indian accent when she talks, which means she is an immigrant. And she was probably naturalized at some point, but they're going after naturalized citizens too, or next. Like, it's not that far off. I don't understand. I truly don't understand people like that. Like, I don't understand how they don't understand that they're on the chopping block too. Anyway, I hope she has a day.
One last update in Dr. Harleen Grewal situation. All her terrible Google reviews have been swiped off, so she was able to get rid of that, which is crazy to me. Now she has almost 5 stars. Now, for this dental office in Chicago, they were able to get rid of most of the terrible Google reviews. There's still a couple of them left. So please, if you left a terrible Google review for them, go and take it down, because they had nothing to do with this, as well as on their TikTok account. And Yelp has officially stopped taking any terrible reviews for the Santa Clarita Skylines Smile office. So as always, please share. Make sure to remove any terrible reviews from the Chicago office, because again, they had nothing to do with this.
MAGA are out here trying to dox people on the left based off of how they mourn a podcaster, but there are literally MAGA Republicans confessing online that they give a different level of anesthesia to their patients based off of their political affiliation and beliefs. Okay, so that makes me want to talk about a very important topic, which is the line between political views and professional care. As a medical provider myself, I firmly believe in separating personal political views from patient care, which was not done by this dentist, okay? When a provider intentionally inflicts pain based off of political differences, it's not just unethical, It's medical malpractice and negligence. And it also crosses into like criminal territory, like battery and assault. This behavior violates the core ethical principles of healthcare, which is non-maleficence, beneficence, autonomy, and justice. Let's remember our duty to provide unbiased, compassionate care for all patients, regardless of political affiliation. If you have not seen this video yet, let me just tell you, your jaw is going to drop. It is disgusting. This person should not be practicing, especially she should not be anywhere near kids. It's astounding that she claims that she is a pediatric dentist.
So in my office, Skyline Smiles, I have a wall of fame. I have pictures of many Republican leaders, elected officials in the community, Jason Gibbs, Joe Messina. And once in a while I get patients that come into my office, and when they see the pictures, you'd think their butt was on fire. They jump up and take off as if Trump was coming in the room. Well, I do have a picture of me and the homie on the wall too. So after hearing certain Democrats complain about my prices, I look at them confused and say, how's Bidenomics working for you? It was so much better in my office when the Dems stayed home during COVID with their masks on. I wish they still did. So I have a secret hat I use sometimes. It says, make your smile great again. So I wear that when I work with my patients. So when they look horrified or complain, I quietly cut back on the laughing gas and say, you got this. It's not as bad as you think it is. I stole that from Joe
Biden. So I want you to imagine the absurdity. All right. Now, you are in her chair suffering from root canal, and instead of asking about your medical history, she's asking if you voted blue. If you say yes, congratulations. You get the raw medieval experience. No anesthetics, just pains. That's not a dentist. That's a torture with a degree. And let's talk about the hypocrisy. These are the same MAGA folks who scream about freedom and government overreach, but apparently they are okay with a dentist deciding who deserves pain relief based on political loyalty. So much for liberty, right? Apparently, it doesn't extend to your molars. What Dr. Grewal doesn't seem to realize is this: pain doesn't have a party. Tooth decay doesn't check your voter registration. And anesthesia doesn't care if you're red or blue. A real doctor treats people because they are human, right? Not because they fit their, ideology. But boasting about cutting off pain relief, Dr. Grewal has exposed something much deeper. How far political extremism has infected even the most basic human services. If your dentist, the person you trust when you're most vulnerable, can't separate politics from pain, then America is truly rooting, from the inside. They are rotting from the inside. So yes, Dr. Harleen Grewal might be a proud MAGA dentist, but what she's really showing us is how low professionalism can sink when loyalty to a political cause, comes before loyalty to the oaths of care. And if you ask me personally, anyone who weaponizes pain isn't fit to practice medicine. They are fit for a malpractice lawsuit. So tell me what your thoughts are about this, Dr. Harleen saga. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section. Do you support this action, or you support a lawsuit, or you think that this person shouldn't be practicing medicine at all? Shouldn't be? Whatever your thoughts are, just drop it in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, and please do well to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you, guys.